Today's guest is the biggest hustler in Dubai, and in this podcast, he'll be sharing his master networking secrets that allowed him to befriend the likes of Andrew Tate and other A-list celebs. It is, of course, Ahmad Mahmood.
I'm the type of guy, you show me an opportunity, I say yes. Before I know anything about it, I will figure out what I need to do. I want to write a book called Fake It Till You Make It, because that's basically kind of my life story. Life is solving problems. Happiness comes from solving problems. You'll make money by doing one of two things. Make the rich people famous, or make the famous people rich.
So why didn't you like Logan Paul?
Not the best person. It seemed like he didn't really care about anyone else, you know? The first day I spoke to Tate, I already wrote 30 questions of what I was going to ask him on the podcast without even knowing that I'd ever film a podcast with him.
I would only settle down with the person that's better than the other people I've been with. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to that stage.
How are we going to find one person that's better in all these traits than comparing 7 people? F your boyfriend. Let's go party. Our friend is back. We're going to hit the town tonight.
Right, so yesterday we went to the biggest water park in the world.
That makes us the biggest kids in the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we didn't just go to the biggest water park in the world. We also treated everyone with the business to the VIP treatment, didn't we?
Oh, that's so nice, isn't it? We had a fenced off area, a cabana, a Coco Cabana.
Yeah, it was lovely.
The Strike It Big VIP experience.
Yeah,
The Sib boys.
Yeah.
I was a little bit upset with it though.
Why is that?
Well, because it had like this area to walk through, and there wasn't a VIP rope.
Yeah, I know. Like the riffraff could have got in if they
No, but we
wanted.
did pretend there was a rope, and
We
then
did.
we went in. Everyone pretended, but Kai just like, nah, I'm not having it. I'm just walking straight through.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a rope. That's too much effort.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well, no, we had a special guy that was just looking after us.
Yeah, you could press the
We
button.
pressed the button, then he came running
Comes
over
running
to us,
over.
and then
Yasmi.
Yasmi.
That
Was that his name?
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah, he was lovely. He brought us, so we ordered the food, and it came out so lovely, wasn't it?
When we went to America, we went to
It was Volcano Bay.
Volcano Bay. We paid about probably $20 or $30
It was
each
Universal's
for some
flagship
chicken strippers,
water
and
park.
it was horrible. They were wet. They were
We
cold.
couldn't
It
find
was
any
nasty.
good food in the States, could we, in the parks, any of the theme
No.
parks. But here, it doesn't seem to matter where you go, the food is
And the
to a really
service.
high quality. But let's talk about service, right?
It's exceptional.
I've been into a Starbucks just down here. I'd been in there once.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there today, and they said, Mr. Mark, mocha chav. What was it? A Java chip.
It's a Java chip frappuccino.
See, the thing is, you don't even know what you want, so
No.
it's lucky that he remembers.
But he knew, and I said, yes. He said, 1. I said, no, I need 3 because I take it back for the boys.
Anyway, that's enough of that. Today's guest is the biggest hustler in Dubai, and in this podcast, he'll be sharing his master networking secrets that allowed him to befriend the likes of Andrew Tate and other A-list celebs. It is, of course, Ahmad Mahmood.
Welcome to the podcast, bro. I thought you was going to be wearing a Batman today. I was going to say we're twinning, but you thought you'd up me and twin with Curtis.
You've twinned with Curtis.
So fair play, fair play. I know how it is.
So there's a video online with Mo Vlogs titled Meet Dubai's Richest Kid, $100 million mansion tour. Was it really your house?
So yeah, a lot of misconceptions. People think that I am like this or like that, and I'm happy that today I can finally address it, this situation. So basically, no, I'm not Dubai's richest kid. I'm nowhere close. Mo is like my big brother, one of my mentors. And for him, obviously, he wants to get the most views possible. And that's fair enough. And, you know, it's kind of like Netflix, you know? It's like a show. When it's on YouTube, people think that somehow it has to be 100% factual and everything. But if you check the video, I never said that it was my house. In fact,
Yeah, we were watching it as a bit of research for this
Yeah.
video. We're like, is it his house? Is it not?
So-
Some of the things you were
Ambiguous.
saying, it's like, I don't think it
At first,
is.
we thought 100% it's him, and then we get a few minutes in, and we're like, "Oh, I don't think it is." And then,
Yeah,
by the
because
ti-
you appear through the gates and you come out, and we're like, yeah.
and then
it
halfway
looks like
through,
it
we
is.
were like, "Yeah, no way." Like,
Yeah.
We thought we'd dug up a nugget of information.
It's actually interesting. So basically, Mo, when I was growing up with him, he would basically want to film a vlog every day, right? Which is fair enough. He's on a mission. And I wanted to meet him because I saw this kid making millions at 20 years old, you know? The only way I'd meet him is if I had arranged for him a vlog, you know? So it was very transactional, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think being transactional is good. I think everything in life is transactional. Every single relationship you have is transactional. This is transactional. I'm coming on here. You guys invited me. I'm coming on here because I want the podcast audience. And you guys invite me on because you guys want some of my audience or because you think it'll be an interesting story for your viewers. Everything in life is transactional. At that time, Mo was on a mission. He wanted to make a video every single day. So fair enough, he's on his grind. The only way I could meet him is if I arranged for a vlog. So I had an uncle who had a dealership. He was like, uncle, I say uncle, but family friend. And once the dealership closed, it was a long story, but it got closed. And I had to now find new ways of content to arrange for him. So I started arranging for him basically villa tours. And we did a series of them. So I think anybody who watched a few videos would realize this is just a series where we go on different tours. Like it's like the MTV, cribs.
You say all deals are transactional, and I think that's the best way for any situation
100%.
to be. I give you X, you give me X. We've had a good deal, fantastic.
Mutual benefit.
The worst deals I've ever done are when you do someone a favour. Because when you do someone a favour or someone does a favour for you, you end up owing them more than you can ever believe.
Exactly.
And they think you owe them more than you could ever believe.
Exactly.
They don't respect it as well.
Yeah.
When they haven't done anything for it and you just help them,
True.
they don't know the value of it or
Free is
respect
never
it, so they
valued.
just waste it.
In the book 48 Laws of Power, there's one law that says what's has value is worth paying for. There's no such thing as a free lunch. What's free is actually most expensive because you pay for it in other ways. And I think it's so true in life. Whenever someone's done me a favor, I always tell people, no favors, only if you want to do this. I make it very clear with them. Because whenever they do you a favor, now suddenly you owe them this, you owe them that, and you pay for it in much larger ways, I'd rather I do the favors for people. So this is my whole life. My whole life, I've made everything that I've done, and everything I've done is based on adding value to people. I've added value to millions of influencers. That's how I started my agency, my influencer marketing agency. I added value to hundreds of them, not millions, of course, I'm exaggerating, but hundreds of them. 80% or let's say 50% haven't paid me back. Let's say 60% haven't paid me back. Complete waste of my time. Were rude to me. But the rest of them, we made a good relationship, and that brought a lot of success my way. But ultimately, yeah, you're right. What's free is never valued because they're not paying for it, so they don't see the value in it.
It was very hard researching you. So
One of our hardest guests to research.
Yeah.
Mr.
actually.
Mysterious.
So can I ask you this? How did you make the majority of your money?
Okay, the majority of my money was made through my influencer marketing agency. People see the podcast, and yeah, you're right. People don't know what I do. They don't know anything about me. They're like, is this a rich kid? Is this a podcast guy? Is this an agency guy? And I'm all scattered all over the place. I've done a lot of different things, I've lived many lives, and I'm only 20. Anyways, the agency is basically, we work with over 300 influencers. We work with the biggest brands, Head & Shoulders, Gillette, Veet, Colgate, you name it. Every big company that sells in the Middle East, I've worked with them. My agency's brokered the deals with them. In the beginning, how it worked, I'll explain you the story. So I was a kid. I was 13 years old. I went up to my uncle again, family friend. I went up to him in the masjid. I would not meet this guy often, but I met him in the masjid. Sign of God. Anyways, we finished praying. I walk up to him. I'm 13 years old. I look up to him and I'm like, you're not doing marketing right. He's like, what do you mean? He looked at me down like this. I'm a small kid. I'm like, you're not doing marketing. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, there's so many YouTubers here in Dubai, influencers, social media content creators. Why don't you invite them to the showroom? Just give them a small tour of the showroom. They'll film it. They'll upload it, and you'll get a lot of value from that exposure for free. So he's like, and at that time, if you walk into a showroom and you're not buying a car, they tell you to leave. They don't understand. They're salesmen. They want to make commission. They don't give a shit about how the showrooms will benefit from this. So influencers and YouTubers will get kicked out of showrooms. Anyways, he's like, do you know any of them? I was like, yes.
It's good he actually listened to you though. Like
Yeah.
most people would be like, it's just a 13-year-old kid. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He understood that this was a pitch. So he's like, do you know any of them? I was like, yes. He's like, who do you know? I said, there's one guy, Mo Vlogs. He said, can you contact him? I said, yes. I had absolutely no way of contacting him. But always in life, I'm the type of guy who'll always say yes and then figure out how to do it later.
So do you believe in fake it till you make it?
Exactly. I want to write a book called Fake It Till You Make It, because that's basically kind of my life story. Anyways, I'd say, he says, okay, I'm down. If you can contact him, tell him that we'll give him a tour. I'm like, okay. I have to watch hundreds of videos. Finally, in one of the videos of Mo, I see that he has a business email for business inquiries, for advertisements, big money deals. I was like, listen, I'm emailing you because I want to give you a tour of the showroom. I was 13 again. But I was always working. At that time, I was selling lighters in school, whatever. I'll tell you the stories. But that's a very interesting story. But anyways, so I emailed him and I was like, listen, come to the showroom. And actually, while I was emailing him, when I finished the email, I sent this family friend a screenshot of the email. And he's like, tell him that he can take the Bugatti for a small round around the showroom. So that was like a big difference. I emailed him, he never replies. He's like, who's this 13-year-old kid offering me a Bugatti? Sounds, complete bullshit. I was shattered, because I had this, I'm always excited. The first day I spoke to Tate, I already wrote 30 questions of what I was going to ask him on the podcast without even knowing that I'd ever film a podcast with him. Because I'm very optimistic like that.
But you're like, one day I will film a podcast with
Yeah,
Tate.
it
and
kind
I
of
get to ask
manifested
these
it. Yeah,
questions,
Because you don't know with Tate, it could happen randomly. So I was like, I have to have all the questions ready. And they were just coming to my head, you know? And I was like, if I don't write them down, I'll forget them.
Well, it certainly happened randomly for us. We knew the day before. He said, I'm in London. Can we make it happen tomorrow? If not, I'm gone.
He's like that.
We're there.
But we had been talking for a while, but it was really hard to pin him down for an actual date.
Exactly.
And we managed to get it
Same,
eventually.
same. He keeps saying like, maybe tomorrow, maybe next weekend, maybe. And then suddenly he'll just, you know what I mean? So I had everything written down. That's also another interesting story. Anyways, I emailed him 2 weeks later. Again, he doesn't reply. At this point, I'm like, my whole like plan of everything is gone to shit. And I had the plan that I'll make my first video on that day as well. So my first YouTube video at 13. So anyways, I was like, all right, go on my dad's email, make my dad write the email with the signature, you know, make it all look all professional. This is my son. He's not lying. This is the truth. You guys have heard the story. He came, big success. That video got 15 million views. I made my first
15
video.
million,
Yeah.
wow.
It was a big success. After that, my uncle's like, listen, every big celebrity, every big influencer that's in Dubai, you will bring them to the showroom. I was like, I got you. One by one, DMing, hitting people up. I'd hit up managers, connections. I learned a lot. In Dubai, it's all about connections.
So
And
were you earning from this?
No.
No,
I
you're
was
just
working
doing it for
free.
fun.
Yeah. I say often that in life, most of my I spent like 2 years or 3 years working for my uncle for free and working for Mo for free. Honestly, I feel like that. So, but
you
not in
were
a good way.
You were learning your trade.
Exactly. I
and
was
getting
happy
your-
to do
and
it.
Getting your network
100%.
up.
In fact, I was the one who was pushing them to do it. They were like, just leave me alone, kid. And I was like, no, I'll add value. I'll do something. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll bring people.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it, 100%. I started emailing all these influencers, DMing them. It got pretty big. We were able to get some big guests. We got Tyga. We got like the biggest people you can think about. They visit the showroom.
When did you actually realize you could make money from this kind of transaction?
I didn't. Honestly, for me, I was not thinking about the money. I knew that I'm building my brand. I'm making good connections. It will eventually monetize. So my dad told me something when I was small. It always stuck with me. He's like, Ahmed, you will make money by doing one of two things. Make the rich people famous or make the famous people rich. And that's how basically I build my business. Because in the influencer marketing agency, I find these rich businessmen, make them famous with influencers. They're happy they become, and I find famous people and I make them rich. So that was what I knew I could do to make money.
So I think today's guest has highlighted really well the importance of connections in business.
100%. He's the biggest hustler going, isn't he?
For sure.
And if you want to get connections, you want to get on a Discord group because there's 20,000 like-minded people on that group that you could be connecting with. Not tomorrow, but today.
And it's absolutely free. So if you want to get in there, the link will be in the description below.
Also, 96% of you aren't subscribed, so please subscribe now. Thank you. Back to the podcast.
There was one car that came to Dubai. Mo was like, I want to film this car, Ahmed. He calls me. He's like, Ahmed, I want to film this car. I was like, how am I going to help you film this? He's like, you have to find it for me. It's in Dubai. All I know is in Dubai. It's a Rolls Royce with 6 wheels. I was like, how the hell am I going to find it? Finally, I find it on one Instagram story. So I was like, I sent it to him. He's like, yes, that's the one. It was one of my friend's Instagram stories. He saw on the road on a recovery truck. I'm like, bro, where was this? He's like, bro, this was like 2 hours ago. It was on some highway. I don't know where it is now. I was like, all right, no worries. I look at the photo, I take a screenshot, I zoom in. It says, if I'm not driving safe, please call. Bingo. Call that number, recovery guy. It's the owner of the company. So I call him and I'm like, where the hell is my car? And I'm like, where's my car? I've given my car, my Rolls Royce. Where is it? He's like, which car? I was like, it's with your recovery truck, but I don't know where it is. I've been waiting here 2 hours. He said, what are you talking about? I'm like, the plate number, and I read in the plate number of the car. I also zoomed in, so I saw the plate number. I was
Proper
like, this is the plate
detective
number.
work there.
Yeah. I was like, this is the plate number. He's like, oh, this car? Okay, I'll send you the driver's number. He sent me the driver's number because obviously this is the owner of the recovery car company, where you lodge a complaint if the driver of the recovery is driving unsafely. You'll see it if you go on any recovery truck. You'll see that sticker there at the back. So I was like, all right, call him, tell him the situation. He's like, all right, listen. I'm like, bro, where's the car? I've been waiting here. He's like, bro, I already dropped it off at the location which you sent me. I was like, no, which location? He said the garage. I said, which garage? He said in Al Quoz. The name, I forgot the name. It was called, anyways, whatever. Let's say
You
extra.
probably finessed it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. Thank you, bro. No worries. Don't worry about it. It's okay. He's like, well, everything okay? I said, don't worry. It's all good. Don't worry. He's like, okay. He cut the call. The guy, I put him in a frenzy, really. I called him up like super aggressive. I go to that place, the owner of the garage. I'm like, listen, this car, I know it's not yours. You're fixing it. But I can bring a very big YouTuber to film this car and he'll talk about the garage. He's like, okay, cool. But I need to ask permission from the owner because he was happy. Why not? I'm fixing a car and get some exposure. Why not? Calls the owner, I convinced the owner that's also very valuable for him. More vlogs came, filmed it. But yeah, that was very hardcore to find. But I did many of these things because that was the only way I could meet more. I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I have to find out people who are successful and hang out with them, because they know how to make money. If I just sit with him long enough, I'll probably figure out other ways to make money. I never used them, but I knew I could add value in another way. Let's say, and that's why I never made vlogs. I stopped the vlogging channel because I didn't want to become his competitor. I didn't want to become a conflict of interest. So whenever we'd film, I could also film the same things that I was bringing him, but I stopped doing it. Like the villa tours you saw, I never filmed them because I thought, like, listen, and maybe it was not a good idea, but to be honest, I didn't enjoy the vlogging. I really didn't enjoy it. It's not my thing. The podcast, my thing. I love to talk. I love to sit and talk. But the vlogging, I never enjoyed it.
Yeah, what you're teaching is a great thing here, because we often preach that the people you get around you, if you've got 6 millionaires around you, 6 billionaires around you,
100%.
you're raised to that level.
100%.
And a lot of people come back in the comments and say, how do I get to meet these people? Well, you've
Yeah,
answered
like,
that.
bro, your story is literally provide value and just hustle. Like, you're putting a lot of these guys to shame, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro. But yeah, basically, just like eat shit, bro. You have to. And some people they come to me and they tell me like, I want to add value to you. How can I add value? And if I just repost something from Alex Hormozy, he's one of my biggest mentors, and he's like, I'm not gonna tell you how you should add value to me. You should already know that. If you're asking me to do that, you're asking me to take time out of my day and do homework and give you a task. Why would I do that? I'm okay. I'm living life. You want to join me, you need to figure out how you can add value to me and do that.
I think that's the thing. Many people aren't creative enough, and they think, oh, if I send Mark or Curtis a DM and say I'll work for free, and that they think that's adding value, but actually,
I'll work for free. Do what?
It's more hassle than it's worth.
Yeah, it's
isn't
like,
it?
oh, right. So you actually want to come and you just want to film a bit for your YouTube. And we're actually the ones providing more value to
It's
you in
actually
the end of the
costing
day.
us.
If we had someone come and work for free, they would just be like stood around watching.
Yeah,
You know,
and what does that mean? I'll work for
mentorship.
free. Like, say what you can provide me. What are your skills? You know what I mean? People are entitled. That's the problem. People think like, why doesn't this person help me? Why should they help you? No one will give a fuck about you. Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
No one will care about you until you are providing them that value. They don't know you. They don't owe you shit. You want to be their friend. You want to be around them. You need to figure out how you can help that person. That's how I built my life. Just basically finding these people, helping them, helping successful people, helping famous people. And obviously these connections which I made. So for example, one of these influencers, I would provide for him everything from his free meals, free hotel stay. Because I had made friends with all the hotels and in Dubai because I told him I have an influencer marketing agency. And I told him that I explained it as if it was much bigger than it was at the time. Again, like fake it till you make it, but whatever. So I arranged this guy, like anything he wanted to do. One day he wanted to skydive.
He's just done a skydive in Dubai.
No,
Nice.
it's brilliant. Yeah, skydive.
You paid
Dubai.
for it?
Yeah, I did.
So
pay
I
for
got
it.
it
Should have
comped.
called you.
So I would get these guys comped everything. And like literally their meal to eat, it would be comped. I'd call the meal place, convince them that it's in their best interest to give it to them for free. I'd get everything for them comped. And he's like, listen, Ahmad, since I've come here, you provided me nothing but like everything I needed. Nothing short from like, every necessity, everything I wanted to do. He wanted to skydive to celebrate 7 million subscribers. So he's like, listen, I think that you can provide me a lot of value. And I told him like, I have some paid deals as well for him. I had only one, but I told him like, I have a lot of paid deals. He's like, okay, look, you can manage me. And that's when it started. I made a domain, set up the domain, send him it, told him, put this in your bio. I'll handle all your inquiries. Most of my money, and this is the first time I'm talking about this, but most of my money, I can't say the company, but and I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, but a very big social media platform approached. I realized that you make more money, not from brands, but from platforms. So a very big social media platform, very big. I can't say which one, told me that they want the biggest people from another social media platform, and I can't say which one, to start uploading on this new platform. Not new, it's existent, but
I think we all know who you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know. I won't say too much
Well,
because
so,
I signed the NDA.
Just
Don't
let
ask me. Don't ask me.
we know.
I signed the NDA. I signed the NDA.
Just let it fly. We know.
I signed the NDA. It was a massive deal, almost like $1 million deal. That was not my commission, $1 million revenue, but we take 20 and 25%. So that was like in terms of like revenue, like $1 million deal and fairly big, and now it's recurring. So we're continuing to do it with them, and we're working with more brands, more platforms. So it was good because now I'm working on a campaign with or more than 50 influencers or around 50 influencers all over the world, the biggest in one platform. So it really brought my name out there.
Are they wanting the influencers to come over and be exclusive?
No. So they can continue
just
doing with the other
upload.
platform, but just also start here.
So
But
that's an easier sell rather than trying to be exclusive.
Yeah. Plus, exactly.
Your business is all about like talking to people and brands and connecting them.
Exactly.
Would you say like you're a natural extrovert? or have you tried to come into yourself a bit more within the business?
Yeah, so definitely I think that's one of my talents. I keep it very I have a journal. For me, it's very important for me that I know exactly what my skills are and exactly what my weaknesses. And definitely for me, talking, social skills, that's one of my biggest skills. I can sell anything. I can sell you shit. I can sell you your own shit. Like your own shit, I'll sell it to you. So that's definitely one of my
the thing
skills.
is, we had to buy some sand and we're in the
we
desert.
had to buy
the other day.
sand from the Arabs. I couldn't believe it.
Why?
For the sandbags.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hanging on here.
Oh, okay. You actually bought this?
We had to buy sand.
I said, let's
I'm
go down
disappointed.
to one of those building sites and ask them if we can just fill these. And
You don't even
no,
ask them,
no,
bro.
we can't do that.
That was just
So
time, though.
We
We got
ordered
it
it in.
delivered. But yeah.
I'm disappointed.
You
I
could
would have
probably
sold
sell
this.
that, yeah, sell
I'd
sand.
buy and sell. I'd sell people whatever they wanted. I mean, as long as it's legal. I'd sell anything. They'd tell me I want this. I'd be like, yeah, I can get you that. I get you the best prices. And then I'd find it later, I found people that wanted anything and I'd sell them that,
Have you ever been in a situation where you said you can get something or you've agreed to something and you just haven't been able to fulfill it?
Yeah. Actually, interestingly enough, when I was talking with Tate originally the first time, how I got him on the podcast, I DM'd him when he was originally popping off, because that's what I do when everyone's starting to get famous online. I DM'd him and I was like, listen, I will take you to the tiger's farm. That's exactly what I said. So, on DM, when you scroll, I know exactly how the DM comes when someone's going through their request. So I'll very strategically place, I'll send the first. So basically on DM, how it works, it's very hard for me to explain without showing it. But on DM, how it works is the first few words of the last message is what appears when the person's scrolling down. You'll only see the last message, the first few words. So I had
So like a preview of the
yeah.
message
You
that
know
was
when you're
sent
scrolling through your requests,
Yeah.
there's 1,000 requests. For Tate, maybe 1,000,000 requests.
And it is so true. The way that it is written depends on how
you
much
open it or
attention
not,
you
yeah.
pay to it or not.
Exactly. So I knew exactly where to place which words. Like if I added one extra word, tiger would have been out of the preview, and it would just be like, "I'll take you to come see more," and you have to click on it. So I had everything strategically written out.
Or do you go like tiger, come see free?
Actually, wait, sorry. Before I go on the Tate thing, there's one thing I want to talk about with the social media platform. There was one deal. They didn't know how they wanted to get this guy. They're like, Ahmad, we need this guy to come on. He's extremely big. So that guy was extremely big. They're like, we need him to upload on this platform. I'm like, all right, because he was producing gaming content in Arabic. And it was a niche, and they wanted all the niches, whatever. They wanted this guy to come on. So they're like, okay, how do we get him on? I opened this guy's account. And I really hope I don't say any words I'm not supposed to say. If I do, please bleep them. But for now, it's like I'm not saying anything. But I opened this guy's account, and the guy has no contact information. Zero. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get this guy? Imagine a massive platform cannot get in touch with this guy. I'm like, how am I going to get this guy? So I see that he has no email, no contact, no even Instagram. So you cannot DM the guy, So how am I going to get in touch with this guy? I'm like, all right. He had a Twitch. And at 8 p.m. that day, this was when he was going to go live. At 8 p.m., I was there with my laptop, with my a bottle of water and my credit card. And I donated.
Donation.
I donated literally I think it was $100. The thing is, I would love to have just done $1 or $5, but I was like, I can't say I'm working with this big company and then donate $1. You know what I mean? It's going to not take me seriously.
Yeah,
So it had
because
to be-
anyone could do that.
Yeah. So it had to be like $100, which for me, I was like, man, it's $100, Because I know when I used to sell sneakers, what I would do for that $100. I'd wait in the line for 6 hours. So that $100 means a lot to me. So that's my dad never gave me a lot of money, Anyways, I donated in installments, 50-50. I put $50 first because I was like, if I donate the whole $100, he might look up for 1 second, it comes on the screen, he might miss it. So I was like, okay, 50, and then there's the second 50. I'll keep both, And the first 50, he got him. He messaged me he sent me one contact where I contact him. We did the whole deal.
So you didn't have to spend the full 100 in the end.
No, I only
Just
spent
the
50. I got the discount. The extra
Good
50 I
job.
enjoyed. The extra 50 I enjoyed that night. I went for a nice meal.
So for someone who understands social media as well as you do, how come your personal profile is so lacking, shall we say?
Wow, okay.
That's quite hard.
Well,
So
get in there.
Well, your Instagram's popping, but
My
it's
Instagram's-
hard to find stuff about you, though. Honestly,
That's the thing.
definitely
That's
the
what I mean.
hardest bit of
And
research we've ever done.
that's exactly my brand. So what you think is what was lacking is what I think gives me strength, because people want to know more about me. It doesn't have, if you open my bio, there's just one quote that says, God helps those who help themselves, and Dubai. It literally says nothing about me. Now it says my company information, actually, but even before that, it was just nothing.
You don't look like a clout chaser as well.
Yeah, I don't talk in any photos because I want people to be mysterious. Being someone mysterious is how I grew with the brand in the beginning. People searching, who is this kid, So I wanted to keep it very ambiguous.
It's almost the opposite to what most people are doing.
Yeah, Mark just woke up on smoke today. He's being nasty.
No, I didn't.
No, bro, completely. I'm a big fan.
There's always a reason why people do the things they do and the way they do them, and it just struck me as that it's the opposite way. But the opposite way quite often brings you the eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah. So
Gotta go against the grain.
Exactly.
I'm interested in what you actually just had in that preview to Tate, though. If we
So it
come back
said,
to that,
come visit. I have to say exactly how I worded it, but it was like, come see lions and tigers in Dubai.
he's like, yeah, why wouldn't I want to do that?
And they're not my lions and tigers. There's some sheikh in Dubai, in a bit neighboring city of Dubai. And I brought many celebrities there. That's how I had many relationships with many celebrities.
So you find these lead magnets that they want to, kind of see the lions and the tigers to show.
When celebrities come in Dubai, what's one thing? That's the craziest thing I can provide. Before it was like a hotel room. But then I moved up. I was like, okay, now I can provide a hotel room, tigers, a car from Deals on Wheels. And, so I'd make a whole agenda for the trip. I'm telling you, some of these celebrities, I made their whole agenda for the trip, like their whole schedule planned out. But every time that they would do something, I would do it with them. And every time I would do it with them, I'd make content for myself. I'd meet their manager. I'd understand how they worked. But I'd always see them coming with this manager. I always see this manager had a good life. He would stay with the celebrities, and he'd make good money, and he'd just have a good life. And I was like, damn, I could see myself doing that. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of the opposite. I have an office in Dubai. I sit there. It's actually right behind this building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in downtown. So I
With
sit
a nice
there.
epic view.
Yeah.
It is cool, isn't it?
Beautiful. Yeah. So I have the same view, and I sit there like 9 hours a day, just grinding, eating shit. But I think that's what you have to do, I'm now doing 9. I want to move into 11, because if you do 11 hours a day, you can do like 80 hours a week, and that's like, now you're like, really moving the needle a bit.
So did Tate actually come and see the tigers and the lions?
He came. It's actually funny. He came there, and he came there with like a few big guys. Tam Khan was there, and they're like, okay, who wants to go first with the lion? And everyone's like a bit quiet.
They will get a bit.
And they're all like big, And I mean, there's nothing insulting to them, but they're all like big. But obviously, they care about their life. And there's one girl, and she was like, I'll go. And then she went first.
Really?
And she went to see the tiger. Yeah. And she,
And they're all stood back being alpha males.
yeah. They're like, we're good.
See how she gets on with it.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, I don't think he's scared necessarily. It's just, obviously maybe. It's weird. It's a tiger, It's a full-grown tiger. But yeah, you guys had him on. How was your experience with Tate?
Very good. He was just a gentleman all round.
100%
He
gentleman.
arrived early, like we knew he was coming early, but he arrived. We thought that he might leave us hanging for like an hour or something like that, but
On the dot.
yeah,
Early.
early.
When I went down to go get him, the same way I came down and got you today, he was in a Maybach. The thing was like body armored, bulletproof, like this crazy Maybach. He had 3 massive security guards with him straight away. I was like, okay. But he just jumped out, super nice, shook his hand. Yeah.
Was it a Maybach van?
Nah, it was a proper Maybach.
Yeah.
Okay. So when he replied my message originally, I told him, he's like, I would love to. And he followed me back. In fact, me and Mo both DM'd him. He'd only followed me back. He didn't follow Mo back. Because Mo's message was like, I'd love to shoot a vlog with you. And that was kind of like Mo benefiting from him. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, he accepted my message. He's like, okay, I'm down. He followed me back. I never messaged him again because I didn't want to annoy him. I know exactly how much pressure to keep. I don't want to. He follows me and now I'm draining him messages. He's like, oh, this was a bad decision. Didn't message him. Reaches his peak. I still don't message him. Just keeping it casual, State, yeah, whatever. And then he loses Instagram. And that was like at his peak. And I was like, oh my God, like I have no contact with him anymore. So I went on Tate's friend's account and then went on his following list and searched it because Tate didn't have an account to follow. So I had to find one of his friends who might know. I went through a few friends' accounts. Finally, I found it. DM'd. Tate used to follow me. He'll remember me if you show him my Instagram. I doubt he would, but I just told her that. Because if he didn't remember me anyways, when he sees it, he might just say like, okay, yeah, I don't remember it, but like, just like let him set me up with him, you know what I mean? Rich replies, yes, he remembers you. WhatsApp him. Send me the WhatsApp. I WhatsApped him. Very good conversation. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, I can come next week, he tells me, to Dubai. I can come. He said I could come. He didn't say he's coming because he wanted to test me what I could arrange for him. So I was like, all right, fair enough. I told him I'll have everything you need planned from the moment you enter Dubai. Your car planned, your hotel stay planned, every activity that you want to do here, whether it's jet skiing, skydiving, paragliding, scuba diving, you name it, lions, tigers, anything you want to do here, I got you. So he's like, all right, okay.
I'll do all of them.
Yeah.
Every single line.
He's like, what do you mean by cars? Because he's not a celebrity. So he's like, what do you mean by cars? I was like, bro, I will arrange for your car. So you can arrange for my car. I was like, yes, absolutely. I had no idea how I was gonna do it again. I didn't want to pay for it. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'll figure out something. So, but coming back to your original question, when you asked me, he wanted this certain kind of car, and I could not find it. So I had him do. So what I do is, whenever I try to provide value with someone, I'll get them to agree to a few backup plans as well. So it's not only that I have one. You know, you said like you promise something, you can't do it. I'll have them agree to a few backups. You know, in case it doesn't work out, I can say like, okay, listen, the first option didn't work out, but I have these second options, and I'll.
So you're managing the expectations.
Yeah. So if you see my chat with Tate, I was like, okay, but if you would you like this as well, or would you like this as well? So you have my options ready. You know, if he told me he wanted this car, this Maybach van, and it was a van. And I was like, all right, he said, I want it for 24 hours a day. He's like, I need a car 24 hours. So that's 3 drivers doing 8-hour shifts. So I have to give him a car with 3 drivers doing 8-hour shifts. It's not a joke. Like, imagine each driver has to get transport to the car, leave, come, another one comes. He's like, I'm going to have people, like, I want to go here, go there. He's like, I remember his voice. He's like, I can't be waiting for Uber. I have to go out, go here, go there. So I was like, all right, no worries. I got you, bro. I said 100%. Yeah. I was like, 100% I got you. So he's like, all right, wow, amazing. Now I'm like, okay, where did I get this car from? So I hit up a few car companies I know because I knew a few. But they're like, listen, Ahmad, all the people you brought us before would promote us. This guy can't promote us on Instagram. What are we going to do with him? I was like, fuck, that's true, actually. So I was like, all right, I have to find someone that's a fan of him. Just someone who actually cares about him. So
supporting the cause of talent.
I was like, I need to find someone who's on that, Hustlers University shit. So I was like, all right, I called this one guy. I saw his Instagram. I was like, this guy. I DM'd him. I was like, bro, listen, I need to talk to you. It's very important. Please make time for me to come to your office. He said, bro, you can come tomorrow. I said, okay. I came there just with a voice note. Sat him down, played it for him. And Tate wanted the car for 1 month. And because that's how long he was initially planning to be in Dubai. But I was slick. I knew that it was almost impossible to get the guy to agree for 1 month. So what I would do is I kind of had to make him think that he needs to do it for a month. So I was like, I sat down with him and I told him, I was like, listen, bro, you heard the voice note, he needs it for a month. But listen, you only do 1 week. I have the other 3 weeks sorted, locked in. I only need you to do this first week. And I could find maybe, but he heard that, and I was sat there with ultimate confidence. And he was like, so basically what you're saying is I'll give him the car for the first week, and then after that he'll just walk into other showrooms.
He's not going to want that.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm like, yeah, but I mean, at least that first week, he'll be 100% with you. And I told him, like, he may not post for you, but if you get one video of him walking through your showroom and you post that on your own TikTok page, it'll get millions of views. So he was like, what am I going to do if he goes to another showroom? I was like, bro, listen, don't worry about it. Just do this 1 week, forget about it. So he's like, no. And I think also I kind of made him feel a bit small, like he can't do the whole month. So he was like, I'm going to do the whole month. I was like, are you sure? It's a whole month, it's quite expensive. Are you sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah. After I provided Andrew with everything, the car, I even provided him with hotel stay. He didn't want it because it was only a few days, and he was like, if I have to move in and out, it's going to be too much effort. But I provided him with many things, and after all of that, I sat with him, and I didn't sit with him. I sent him a video. I was like, listen, I've done everything. I dropped the car to his house. I have not even met him yet. I've not even sat with him, but I was like, I've done everything. I have one request for you, and it's a podcast. And I'm like, I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, another podcast. But all I need from you is 30 minutes of your time. I knew if he sits down, he'll sit down for hours. I was like, I need 30 minutes of your time. If you can do it. If you can't do it, it's okay. But I said, if you can't do it, no strings attached. The car is still yours. Everything is still yours. I will not take anything back. But if you can do it, it will mean the world to me. And bro, Tate being the nicest guy that he is, he agreed to it. He just wanted to support me. I had a small podcast channel, but he was a nice guy, so he supported me. And also, I think the request was so nice. I was like, I've done all this stuff for him, and I'm not saying that if he doesn't do this, anything happens. I'll remove the car or nothing like that. But I'd appreciate it. And I think when you come with a request, it's law of reciprocity. I think it's another law in 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, I just made him a couple of coffees.
My goodness. Yeah, but you guys, you're a big guy, bro. You don't need to do all this value, bro. I'm trying to get to that stage.
When you know he loves his coffee.
So if you had to break down how much money you spent on getting Tate over here, I know you got the car for free.
I didn't spend anything.
Oh, nothing at all.
Not a dirham, bro.
So it was actually profitable for you. I
100%, because the video made. Now in hindsight, I was like, man, I could have covered easily the cost of the car and the cost of other stuff because the podcast made it. But I didn't want to take the risk. Even the podcast, actually, I didn't monetize the podcast.
Why not?
You should have put more ads on
Why
that
did you
shit.
not monetize
I saw
it?
that you didn't do that,
Bro,
and I thought, wow.
Bro, so what I thought was, first of all, your video should be monetized, but you should remove the ads, because if your video is unmonetized, then YouTube won't push it because it's not profitable. If you're not making money, they're not making money. So you keep the ads on, but you don't keep any video ads in the video. So I had display ads, which means under the video, on the right of the video, but nothing on the video. And the reason was, I was like, I would kill myself if this video did bad and there was the slightest thought that this was the ads, you know? I would hate for that to happen. So I was like, I need to make sure that. So after it reached, I was like, I'll wait for it to reach 1 million views, because after a video has 1 million views, you're like, okay, an ad came, but you're like, this video has 1 million views. It must be pretty good.
I mean, I peppered ours of ads. I put as many ads as I could in there.
But you are right though, because it happens to me sometimes when a video will be pushed and it's like, if that's got 1 million views, it must be good. So then you're more likely.
So they will sit through the ad. But in the beginning, if a video has 10K and an ad comes and another ad, you know what they do every time an ad comes? They go look at the other videos. They scroll. They see what else there to watch. And you know how with clickbait, you know how hard it is to grab attention. Attention is the new oil, literally. It's the new oil. It's almost impossible to keep them there, retention. So I was like, I can't have a single ad in the video. And right now, my channel is ads demonetized. Right now, my whole channel is demonetized. I have some ID verification bullshit. I don't care, bro. I'm uploading all the videos. I don't care about the money from it, you know? Honestly, I really don't. Or if you open any one of my videos right now, you won't see a single ad. My AdSense is demonetized. But for me, and I'm still uploading, I could be saying like, oh wait, I had this Myron and Sneeko video, let me wait till my AdSense gets fixed and then I upload it. I don't give a shit, bro. I just want to upload it, get the audience. So for me, I was like, I was too scared about, even when I did the ads, by the way, even when I put them on after 1 million views, I only put the skippable. Not the non-skippable. I was like,
we don't have the non-skippable.
You already know that people are going to be in the comments after this, like, why don't you take a leaf out of his book? Why am I watching these ads strike it big?
Well, the thing is, though, we travel to different countries. You
have a lot of expenses.
We're not making a profit out of the podcast. If anything, we're breaking even. You know? So we spend over 20,000 going to different locations. Bro, you have 6
cameras.
Exactly.
Yeah, go into Vegas.
Tom
cost us a lot of money.
behind the scenes.
You guys are next level. You guys need to put 100 ads.
To be honest, most people wouldn't want to have to pay the excess baggage we paid. So, you know, that's just one part of it. It's mad. I mean, that was £1,000 one way.
And that's just for the extra weight of the equipment.
And then something goes wrong. One camera breaks in the travel. Now that's
hopefully not. Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? Like expenses can
but
just
it's a
slide
risk,
in. Yeah,
isn't it?
it's liability. So you're taking a lot of
So
risk.
we want to cover our costs. You know, we don't want
course.
it to cost us money to do these things. We want to bring this to our audience and not begrudge it. We want
You have
to get
3
out
of
and
you.
meet
For me,
nice
it's just me
people.
sitting. There's 3 of you, you know? All of you guys have to eat. No, but you know what I mean? There's like 3
we
of
have
you.
to eat.
Yeah.
100%. So would you say
your business.
would you say your podcast is now like your lead magnet?
No.
Like the Tigers were. But it could be eventually, you know, like if it provides enough value and, well, it is getting a lot of views now, isn't it? Like
you're
200K
getting
on
views,
some
bro.
of the videos. So
I wanted to get like 2 million. You know?
Yeah, but you're pulling
if
views,
you offered
bro.
an influencer to come on your podcast, they can get a lot of attention from it.
Yeah, so it actually ties in with the agency, because it's like either I'm sitting with a massive businessman who can become my client, or I'm sitting with a very big influencer who can become my client.
So it's more of a networking play.
Yeah, and also I just love my ideal life. I can imagine, like, just honestly, to be very honest with you, I don't fully enjoy the agency. It's like in the beginning I enjoyed it, but now it's really like draining me. Wake up every day, sit there, and you know, service-based businesses are the worst. Iman Gaji says it. The difference is I have 2. So I have he had only the client side headache, which is the brand. I have the brand and the influencer. Both are giving me shit. Both treat me like I'm their full-time employee. So
Yeah, because Iman markets the brands, doesn't he? Whereas you're obviously getting
exactly.
influencers.
So I have to first deal with the headache from the marketing manager in the company, and then I deal with the headache with the influencer, and they're both going back and forth, and I'm just a messenger, and they're both taking out their anger on me in the middle, you know, from both sides. So I was like, the podcast, man, I can imagine I'm sitting in this big mansion, come downstairs, go to the garage, I sit down like this, talk about life with my boys, I have a paper handed to me with all the trending topics, talk about them. I have a team here that syndicates all these videos, put on all the platforms, distributes it on all the platforms, go up, play some golf, you know, live. You know what I mean? Like, that just could be so sick for me. So I just think about that. I doubt that I'll ever do that. I think even when the podcast becomes crazy, I'm extremely ambitious. Like, honestly, I want to be a billionaire. And it's crazy because I say that a lot. But for me, like, and it's like extremely big goal, but it's not about making the $1 billion. People tell me like, what are you gonna do with $1 billion? It's not about making the $1 billion. It's
the
about
journey there.
And the person that you have to become to make that $1 billion. You have to become someone who's resilient, someone who's hardworking, someone who can persevere, tenacious. You know, all these attributes and all these skills that you need to become to make that billion, ultimately it just makes you the best version of you that you can be. And that's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal in life is to be the best version I can be and to help others become theirs. And I think that's kind of similar for you guys.
Do you have any team members, or do you feel like eventually you could, pass off some of that stress to them?
Honestly, yeah, that's the thing. Tate has a very good video where he's like, how much money you make is directly correlated to how much stress you can take. And it even rhymes. It's such a good quote. But he spits bars, all the time. But I was thinking, and he gives an example. He's like, your house is dirty, you're stressed out, you call a maid. She takes all that stress of all the clothes on the floor and all the pile of dishes that you have that was eating at you. She deals with all that stress and she cleans it, but she gets rewarded for that. And how much stress I take in the agency is why I get paid that much. With all these, imagine I'm doing these campaigns with like big brand, 50 influencers, dealing with each and every 50 of these influencers, convincing them that they should do this at this time. And the one that says, no, I'm in the hospital, I can't post today. I'm like, no, everyone has to post at the same time. So all the stress taking is directly correlated to how much money I can make with that in that role. You know what I mean? And coming back to your question, for me, my brand is based on me. So there's no real exit strategy there, It's like everything's based on me dealing with the clients. Like I have not found someone who can do what I can do, unless I give them a percentage of the business, which I don't know. It's just a lot. It's one of those irreversible decisions. When you give someone a percentage of the business, you can't reverse it. You know what I mean? So I have to really think about that. I don't think that I've met someone who can even come close to doing all the work that I do, and the way that I do it, have a certain way, which I've done it for 7 years since I was 13. I'm 20. 7 years I've been doing like influencer campaigns. I've been doing like, bro, imagine the biggest brands, they picked a 20-year-old to handle their campaigns. Like I had to be extremely, extremely experienced, and I had the best prices. The reason I had the best prices is because I was friends with these influencers. I used to take them to do all these dinners and stuff. So imagine like if I call an influencer, they tell me their price, they cut the call. They think it's some guy in the office. But if I'm sitting with them at dinner and this dinner is comped by me, I found a sponsor for it, and I'm with them and I'm showing them a good time, and I'm like, bro, what's the last price you can do for this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're worried about like how reliant it is on you as a person, and if something happened, maybe it wouldn't do as well.
Yeah, but that's the risk I took in the beginning. If I built an agency without me doing all these things, then it would just be like any other influencer marketing agency. But if it's an influencer marketing agency that's run by an influencer who's friends with all the influencers, and that's my USP. So without that, I would 100%. You're 100% right. It's not the best way to structure a company at all. But when you're starting out, you don't want to think about exiting. You're thinking about starting something that's worth exiting.
I've always found in business that you can probably find people 90% as good as you are at the whole of everything you do, but you can find people 100% better than you in certain areas, and it's putting that team together that makes the magic work.
100%. But you have to also think like to find those guys is not a one call thing. It's like a month. Like you have to interview 50 people.
You have to employ a lot of people to get through a lot of
Trial
people
and error.
to find the ones that you want to keep.
You know what I mean? And that's not only costing me time and money, but I'm losing business every time that I remove a client meeting to do an interview instead. I lose a client. Every time I meet a new employee and he fucks something up because he's new, I lose a client. Every time they make an error in the post or in the deliverables, I lose a client. So it's like at the same time I want to do that, but at the same time I don't want to ruin what I have going on, or I want to keep growing that side. But I will. So my plans in the agency is I'm building a platform. Like it's like a PaaS company. So Iman has a SaaS company. It's a PaaS company, platform as a service, which is basically today when you want to book an apartment like this one, you go on Airbnb. When you want to book a driver, you go on Uber. But when you want to book an influencer, you have to email like 15 different agencies. It doesn't make sense. It's outdated. So I want to build a platform where they can target exactly who they want. So they put let's say you have a coffee shop downstairs here. You want Emiratis, so you put Emirati. You put the age group. You put the gender. And you put all these target demographics. You press search and they all come in front of you. And you're like, boom, open them, book. You know what I mean? Instead of them having to look through Instagram or email agencies and tell them like, listen, this is our content brief, pitch me influencers, and they get pitches from like 50 different influencers. It doesn't make sense. The whole system's outdated. You guys, if you're watching this video, good business idea. Build that platform. Become like a competitor.
I think we were actually invited to a platform like that recently, weren't we? And we actually declined putting our data on.
That's the thing. You were invited. I'm not going to invite anybody. I'm going to put your data on there. Whether you want your data will be on there. If you want to send me a cease and desist, I'll remove it.
Yeah, we don't like being marketed as a commodity. Like we don't. If a brand comes to us and they say, "What's the average views of your last 10 videos? What's your average watch time?" We're just like, we don't even want to work with you. If you're not on board with the long-term vision and buying into the brand, then we're not interested. We don't care.
Buy into what we're doing.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not working with us. Simples.
Damn, nice.
So how did you get to meet Cristiano? I knew I was going to mess that again.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, right.
So how did you manage to meet Cristiano Ronaldo?
And Logan Paul.
Okay, it's actually very interesting. You know, nobody's ever asked me about Cristiano Ronaldo because I guess you can't say really that I met him. I was like he walked past me, and so I snuck into this event called Globe Soccer Awards. I snuck
More
in.
This
Faking
guy
it.
is such a hustler, isn't he?
Yeah.
So there's this event going on in Dubai. I found out the details. I could not get a ticket, and I knew Cristiano Ronaldo was going to be there, and I had to meet him. So I was like, okay, what do I do? I went there. It's not that interesting. I mean, for me, I think it's like another day in the office. I went there to the event in a suit as if I was meant to be there, and figure out all the entrance and exits. I found out there's one from the back. To where the kitchen is. That's how they have the kitchen, and all the kitchen staff have to go through that in and out. So I was like, okay, that's my entrance point. They had only one security there. The other places was like, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I think they won't care, man. I was like 7 years ago. They don't care. And now they'll probably invite me back now, the same event, hopefully. But anyways, I was like, all right, what do I do here? I see this at the main entrance is like 30 security, but at this entrance is only one security. I was like, all right, good. I had a friend with me. Told a friend that we need to distract this guy. So ultimately, my friend went to distract him, gave him like basically a story about like that how my friend made up some elaborate story, and at the same time, I quickly moved behind him, and there was like one small barricade. I jumped over it, and then I went through, and there was a kitchen, and then I just ran through the kitchen. Like the kitchen staff were confused, but they were like too busy cooking. I'm in a kitchen wearing a suit, you know, and like a massive kitchen. Then from there, I snuck in the event, and thankfully, when I entered the event, one security guard came up to me. And I realized something. I was like, everyone's wearing a badge. I'm not wearing the badge. Yes, I'm in, but I'm not wearing the badge. I'm an imposter. But I was like, that can be either good or bad. I'll tell you why. There's some people that are so big that they don't even need to wear identification. So I was like, I have to be that guy.
You not know who I am?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo was wearing a badge? No, he wasn't. But everyone else was wearing their gold ticket. This big, you know? I was like, which is VIP and stuff. So someone came up to me and he's like, sir, where's your thing? I was like, go ask your boss who I am. And then he's like, sorry, sir, sorry. I didn't mean. And
Sorry.
I feel bad for him, to be honest. He was just trying to do his job, but I could not get kicked out. You know what I mean? I did the same thing with John Cena. I jumped through a barricade. John Cena was very nice, actually. I just jumped through a barricade, and then and all the security pushed me, and then I just grabbed onto him and I hugged him. I was a small kid at the time. I was a big fan of John Cena. And then John Cena was like, wait, he's a kid. Wait. And he was very nice, actually. One of the nicest
Yeah, you
people I
couldn't
met.
do that as an adult, could you? You just jump through and start hugging people. But yeah, coming back to Cristiano, how did you actually
So
meet
then
him?
once I'm there, he basically, I figured out, okay, so I knew that he was on a panel. So I knew, okay, he has only two exits, one on the right, one on the left. I figured out that he had some friends that was on the left side. So I was like, okay, he's probably going to come on from the left side. So I strategically placed myself in one of the places where I knew that he'd walk past. And I sat there for like a good 2 hours while he was on the panel, just sitting there because I knew I was camping at that spot. And then obviously when he got up, he went through that area. I had my phone lined up. I knew exactly from where he was going to walk past. So I didn't actually meet, I don't know if you guys thought that I met him. I didn't actually meet him. He just walked past me and he grazed my back in my thing, and I had a video like this. So yeah.
These would make awesome videos. I don't know if you've seen Nico Milano.
Yeah,
he does
you know what I
similar
mean?
stuff when he's.
But the thing is, I was doing this fake it till you make it thing. So on one side, I was showing these 8 brands that look who I am. I'm with Cristiano Ronaldo. So I can't on the other side show them that I snuck into the event. You know what I mean? I'm using these people to add to my credibility. But if people found out that I was not supposed to be there, that I snuck in, then that doesn't make me credible at all. So I could not. I was like I was double agent. So I could not. That's why my Instagram, as I told you, is just like doesn't show this stuff because at the same time I don't want to ruin what I have.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I'd rather let people think that I'm cool enough to hang out with Cristiano than let them think that I snuck out.
Yeah,
Snuck
it
in.
makes sense.
You know what I mean?
So, where do you think this confidence came from? Because obviously, you got to have a lot to do these things.
That's again, it's fake it till you make it. I didn't have the confidence, but if you fake it, then people think you're confident, and then you just act confident. So I think it's one of those things. I watch a lot of videos about it. I do affirmations. I think that definitely helps. Confidence is built by repeatedly proving to yourself who you are. Like for example, I'm a big gym guy. Like I go to the gym. You've probably seen some photos. Like I have a nice body. You know, not to be cocky, but I kind of have a six pack. I think someone's jealous. I think someone's jealous.
Fuck's sake.
So, but yeah. Anyways, I get what you mean. But for the sake of the podcast, so the amount of times that I've told myself that I will go to the gym, and I go every single time. I think when you tell yourself that I'm gonna do this and you don't do it, that's how that's how you become not confident. Because you believe that when, let's say when Kyle tells himself that he will do something, don't take him seriously, because he's
To
not
be fair,
gonna
it's
do
true.
it.
So first is Kai, and two, yeah, because there was a couple things I said. Yeah, if I come to Dubai, get in a supercar. Haven't got a supercar. We was talking about that last night. Also, I've been getting into the gym, and I'll tell myself I'm going to go, and I won't.
How many
go.
times have
Bro,
you
I got
been
you for the
since you've
supercar,
been
bro.
here
What here?
to the gym?
None, but I would deflect that question over. How many times have you been, Curtis?
I haven't been a lot.
Why didn't you ask him? Deflect it to him.
How many
Have
times
you
yeah,
ever been
how
to
many
the
times have
gym,
you
mate?
Do you know
been?
how many times I said I was going to go to the gym on this trip?
Fuck
Never.
all.
None.
But
Yeah.
we didn't say a certain
In
number,
your life.
and we've prioritized work.
I have been to the gym. I'm 55. I'm not doing too bad.
You've been to the gym 3 times, maybe?
Look, my favourite machines in the gym are the vending machines, so there's
Yeah.
no point me going.
But no, you.
You only do cardio in bed. That's what our friend told
I
me.
don't think he's
Kai,
gonna like
you,
that.
You missed out a huge point there. He said to sort you out with a car.
Yeah. Don't worry, bro. We can set something up. Where was I? Logan Paul. We brought him a Bugatti. We put his logos on it. He was very happy. Dealt with manager Jeff. Honestly, Logan Paul, not so nice in person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
like,
a shame.
So why didn't you like Logan Paul?
not that I didn't like him, but I was a big fan of him, and I guess he just has too many fans. He's just on his grind. But one thing about him, he's like relentless. Like one of those guys that's like everything about that he does is planned out. Like in the video, like he stops the video there and then in the showroom is like, wait, everybody stop. Right before I show them the car, I have to go plug my merch. And then he walks by and he has the whole script planned out. And this script is like, he says it off the go, but everything he's saying is so persuasive. It's so like, if you heard that, I would want to buy his merch, you know? And he has this whole script. And like, he could have easily like just done the vlog and then gone later at home and made a clip about the merch and put that in the video. But he wanted it to be with the same clothing in the same place. So
Very calculated. Though.
everything is calculated, you know. And seeing that, I was like, wow, this man really knows. Like he is a like very smart guy, extremely smart. Not the best person though. Like just like not as friendly as you want him to be, not as kind. You know, he doesn't really care that much about you. You know.
One of those cases of not meeting your heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not even like in the podcast anymore. I'm just thinking supercar.
So what would you have expected him to do with you that maybe he didn't?
Conversation.
Was he just very quiet?
No, just very doing his own thing, like in his own lane. You know, like seemed like he didn't really care about anyone else. You know. So yeah.
Did he not show gratitude?
No, not really.
Yeah, that's always a shame.
Yeah, he didn't even tag the showroom, you know, with the photo of the Bugatti. Thankfully, like we had our own logo, but if you could have just add a tag, you know. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Honestly, look, we don't. As again, we never told them like you have to do this. We let people do it. See, for me, in my opinion, if you help like 10 people and one person helps you, that one person can. I didn't lose necessarily anything for those other people. That one person can become something big, you know. You do that over and over again, you meet a lot of good people.
So the Dubai lifestyle, is it really better? Because last night we were out talking to a friend and he's actually moving here. And I was thinking about moving here as well. Maybe Kai and also Tom behind the camera. So is it really worth it? Come on, convince us a little bit.
Yeah, sell it to me.
Dubai lifestyle, 100% worth it. Let me ask something. In London, you live in London?
Near London. Yeah.
Outside of London.
You can have all the money you want in the world, but if you don't have safety, you don't have anything. Because if you can't use that money, you can't have a nice car, you can't have a nice watch, you can't wear these watches, then what do you really have, you know? So what's the point of you guys working and do all this stuff, but you can't enjoy your wealth? You can't enjoy your money. So I think ultimately that peace of mind, you can't put a price on it. It's the most important thing. As well as in Dubai, it's like, I feel like it's becoming the new LA. Everybody's moving here at the same time. You guys have a podcast, you need guests. Everybody's coming to this one place from all around the world, you know? I think it's a very strategic place for you guys to be, you know? I think definitely in a few years, Dubai will become and they say it's like the LA, but I think it'll be like the mix of like the LA and the New York and the Las Vegas all in one place. I think in the West, they kind of tainted the image of the Middle East. They made you think that it was Islam. It was like, you'd have to, if you come here, you'd have to like, you know, you'd have to pray 5 times a day or they'd shoot you or something like that, you know? So they painted an image.
I think both
now,
go through a tipping point, don't they? Dubai's on the up and the other one's on the way down, and you've got to go a little way down before you realise how much the up the other one is.
I agree.
You know, and then visit for a couple of days and go, wow. It just takes a bit of time. That's why it's not the instant thing.
Yeah.
How do you think the West approach happiness as opposed to the East?
Yeah, so this is very interesting. I feel like I have actually a lot of thoughts about this. So I feel like in the West, happiness is primarily having these big goals. So you set up all these big goals that you want to accomplish in life, and then you start your journey of reaching those goals. And the journey is the passion, and that's the life, that's the dream life, the journey. Actually, not destination. But in the East, it's all about limiting your desires. So you tell yourself, like Naval says, desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you desire. So if you see the monks, they keep themselves very minimalist. They don't do anything. They don't have any desires. And I always think, where does more happiness come from? Is it from, having these massive, ambitious goals and grinding and struggling towards them? Or is it about like reducing those desires? For me, of course, I'm following the one which all these big goals and striving towards it. But it often interests me how in the East, like in India or like in other countries like Buddhism and stuff, how even in Islam, it's a lot about minimalism and stuff. And
I mean, if everyone limited their belief and everyone was monks, then I can't see there being any progress of society.
True.
Is there? That's the reason we create skyscrapers, because we actually want to strive towards our goals. Someone's got to think of that and actually build it.
But is there a need of that?
Well,
Like
it
when you
depends.
say
It
progression of
depends.
society is, and I'm not arguing one
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
but I'm just saying like imagine if like we trade food and I would give you food and you give me your resource, your wood. I don't know. Is there a need for all this progression? I mean, I'm sure there is in some aspects, but I don't think skyscrapers are very good. They're even bad for the environment, and
It depends. Even the safety thing. Like if everyone was monks, I suppose you wouldn't have the desire to steal from each other.
and nobody. And it's very interesting.
yeah.
People say, and this is Graham Stephan or like Bia Hazza actually. Watch Bia Hazza?
Yeah.
They say that if you watch these finance YouTubers, they're very frugal, right? And people say like, why are you so frugal? Do you love money so much that you're just hoarding it? But actually, it's the opposite that's true, because the ones that are lowering the amount of money they spend and living below their means are the ones that are less reliant on the money, which means that today they don't need a lot of money to live their life, which means they're less dependent on it. The ones who spend a lot, those are the ones that actually need and love money and are like will always chase money because their lifestyle is fucking expensive. Whereas like Graham Stephan, today if you take, he's gonna make his coffee for $1.30. He's chilling. You give him that $1.30. He's made his coffee. His lunch is like $3. You know what I mean?
He is actually the most frugal person with money that I have ever met in my
Maybe
life.
I'm more.
It's
I'm
wild.
quite frugal as well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I love it though. I love it.
So what about arranged marriages in the East? What do you think about those? Because that's quite a big debatable thing in the West.
Yeah, honestly, then I'll let the numbers speak for itself. For me, I want to do an arranged marriage. I'm not saying that you guys should do it. I mean, I'm saying that you guys should do it. But
Another wedding?
Not you.
Not for me.
Not you. Why? It's Dubai, bro. You can have 4.
Yeah, no thanks. One's enough. Come on.
But you have to treat them the same, right? So you
Yeah.
have to be very rich.
This is interesting. Yeah, it has to be exactly equal. So it's almost impossible, really, unless you're living in the olden times. Because, like, let's say, imagine you have to watch like the same movie 4 times with the same woman, with different women and in the same cinema. You know what I mean? So
It sounds horrible.
yeah, that's just one example. But
What is it that extreme? Like it has to be the same.
yeah, like it's a slippery slope because the rule is that you have to treat them equally. Now, how you wanna analyze or how you wanna understand that in your own way, but still, at the end of the day, every dollar, like that's 4 times the cost, or at least by financially, it's very measurable of how much money you're spending with each one. And
So if you've got 4 wives, do they have to be in 4 different homes, or can they be all under the same house? So if you go to the cinema, you go,
Yeah,
all of you.
Come on, loves, we're going. All 4 of
How
them.
does it
so,
work?
first of all, I don't think the wives would be down to go to the cinema together, but in terms of the house, I think it can be either. So they can stay in the same house as long as they have, I guess, equal space in their room. But now again, you're thinking about, does one have a bigger room than the other?
Oh, right.
Does one have more kitchen space than the other? So
One's enough.
yeah, one is enough. But if you do the 4 in one house, and I think also you have to be careful because in Islam, lesbian is haram, right? So if the girls are like, like going to a movie together, and I don't know, like how.
They fall in love with
I
each
think we
other.
might be going somewhere we don't need to be
Because if you
going.
live them
there.
all in the same house and they're in the same room, like I don't know, man. It's a weird. We're not getting into it, man.
So how does the arranged marriage work?
So-
then? Do you not see them at all, know of them or anything before the day you marry?
No, that's the misconception.
Okay.
You have a conversation with them. You know a lot about them. In fact, you know more about them. So people think that it's like that, but it's actually the opposite. I need to piss really badly.
Okay,
Sorry,
we
let's
can
take a break.
on
Let's take a
that.
break.
Don't worry. Well, it's normally me that needs a comfort break, but this time it wasn't, which is great because it's normally blamed on the old man problems.
I was going to say, you're going on about your old man problems again, are you?
Yeah, it's just me.
But
Anyways,
where
So
were
back
we?
to the arranged marriages. Very interesting
so
subject.
you asked me, you said, does that mean you don't know anything about her and then you get married? It's actually the opposite. In fact, I believe, this is a misconception, and I believe it's actually the opposite. So I think in the love marriages, see, for you guys, maybe not for you guys, but as in the West, they may go to a club or a bar or whatever, whatever the place is, find a girl, talk to her, and 1 second later, let's say if they're in a bar, they're both a bit tipsy, they may hit it off, small random conversation about life, you're beautiful, you're attractive, boom, you know, they may spend the night, sleep together, whatever. Next day they wake up, they may do it again, you know, they may go eat a lunch meal, do it again. So in the end, basically what's happened is they've fallen in love without knowing anything about each other. That's what you said about arranged marriages. And arranged marriage is actually the opposite. So I know everything about this person before I've even met them. I know what it is that they study in university, what they want to do with their life, what's their goals. I know exactly what's their biggest priorities, what's their principles that they live by. I know where they like to go and what they like to do in their free time and where they like to go. I know everything there is to know about this person because I've asked all these questions beforehand.
Surely you find that out in the dating process, though. Like, you wouldn't get married. Like some people would, but if you meet someone in a bar, you wouldn't get married the next day. So what's the difference there?
But it's also about falling in love because I've had a lot of friends that have fallen in love with girls and then found out a lot of wild things after they've done it, and they're like, "Damn, like this girl slept with my brother," you know, or you know what I mean?
So they got those rose-tinted glasses on, and they can't see necessarily all the bad things because they're so in love.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
And by the time they do, they're so in love that they say like, should I just let it go? Like, I really love this girl.
And the wedding's already been announced
It's
for
too
a
late.
year's time. The invites have gone out, and
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they would get married. Like, maybe they would date. Let's say they fall in love, right? Now they're starting to date, right? But he finds all these problems about her. But at that point, it's very late to now leave. You're in love. You might waste a lot of time in that thing. Whereas for me, I have this questionnaire. You know, let's say 30, 50 questions.
It's like a job application.
Yeah, but there needs to be a system, bro, is what I'm saying. So I have this questionnaire. Someone told me, if you want a religious girl, just go find a religious girl. And I said, that's the problem. You're not gonna find a religious girl because she won't be in the club or the bar or the, you know, whatever. She will be in the women's side of a masjid, and the masjid is separated, women and men. So I need my mom who's in the women's side, who's been in the women's side of many masjids in Dubai, in UAE, and other countries, because she's been alive her whole life in masjids. So she has a portfolio of women who she knows, who she's seen around, and she's always been looking out for me. And this is how my brother got married. This is how all my cousins got married. This is how all my uncles got married. My dad and mom got married. Arranged marriages. And I think we need to bring them back. Do one thing. Go right now. Go on your phone. Search on Google. What's the divorce rate of love marriages versus arranged marriages? You know what the divorce rate of love marriages is?
I think it's
70, 80%?
Wrong.
I was going to say it's 3 and 5.
4, exactly. It's 4%.
4, okay.
4% is the divorce rate. And if it's
with arranged marriage. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
saying
Oh,
about
okay.
love marriages.
and love marriages is like, okay. So
But it is harder to divorce
with love marriages,
over
40%.
here.
Yeah, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
People say that, okay, when it's arranged marriage, they're like, it's very hard to divorce because now you're like kind of stuck in. But I'd say that's the point. Let's say you have this questionnaire, okay? You know that this person ultimately is a good person. First of all, 99% of the time it's a virgin. But whatever. You know, by the way, I'm not that it's bad if you're not a virgin, but each partner you have before you get married reduces the chances of the relationship working by a certain percentage increment, like 10% or something. Each partner you've had. So whatever.
That's interesting. What, on
Yeah.
your side?
No, on both sides.
Okay, because that's interesting because we had a podcast the other day and he said, before you settle down with the woman you marry, you should have a minimum of 50 girls that you've slept with.
HS Tiki
It wasn't HS, it was Myron from Fresh and Fit.
Really?
Yeah.
And we disagreed with him. I mean, I certainly disagreed with him. Curtis disagreed. Well, we all disagreed with him.
Yeah, it's like,
Because
if you're number 49, sorry, you can't be my wife
Yeah, 'cause
because
I've
you're
got-
not number 50.
And also, it's like, how about if you meet the nicest girl you've ever met at girl number 3 or even number 1? You know, that's the girl.
and you compare them with, let's say the problem was also each partner you have, you compare them with the previous partners. So for example, let's say my 7th partner. Like let's say it's a girl and she's talking about a guy. Like, he's my 7th boyfriend. Yeah, he's very nice. Yeah, I like him. But partner number 1 was richer. Or like, yeah, he's nice, he's good, but partner number 2 was more athletic and better physique. You know what I mean? So now you have a portfolio of guys that you're comparing this one guy against. And the likelihood is, if he's the 7th guy, there's something about him that he's lacking and that one of the other ones is superior. And now you're like, oh, I missed that partner. He had that one trait. I missed that about it, you know?
So some people would say the opposite, though. If someone hadn't slept with lots of people, or even a few different people, they were a virgin, they will always be thinking, is it better? Like, I don't know. I haven't tried. I want to try. You know, they have those kind of desires.
What you doesn't know can't hurt you, though. You know what I mean? What you don't know can't really hurt you. So, and I guess if you know, honestly, that's subjective. I think I cannot say which way it would work. But I think, in my opinion, if you know that there is better, 100%, it's more motivation than if you think that there might be. If you know 100% that this guy is better than me in bed, like this, if the girl's like, that guy 100% was better in bed, no questions asked, it's more motivation for her to cheat or to move on than if you think that there might be someone who's better out there. Who's gonna ruin something they have now for something that might be? You know what I mean?
That sort of makes sense.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I would only settle down with the person that's better than the other people I've been with. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to that stage.
How are we gonna find one person that's better in all these traits than comparing 7 people?
Yeah, but I suppose you'd look at all of the traits across the board and say, yeah, maybe
an overall score.
An overall score.
Fair.
You put it all together.
Fair enough, but you'll still know that this person is not so good in this one thing, and now you're like, how important is it for me? About like how important is, let's say,
but if it was like the bed thing, wouldn't you just talk to them and go,
improve?
Let's improve in these areas. You know, have an open discourse with your partner.
What if the size is not good?
Is that what?
Size.
What can you do? Too big?
No.
Did you say size?
He's saying from the girl's perspective, what if your cock's not big enough?
Oh, right. Okay.
Then there's not much you can do about that.
And you said, what is too big? he's never had the problem, you see.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much you can do about
Mark
that.
understood straight away. He's all man.
Well, I've always known since I was very young, there's 3 sizes of condoms. There's small, medium, and liar.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you can improve everything, but you know, what can you do about this?
Yeah, right, I've never had that problem.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
We used to have and he's never had that problem. We used to call the podcast Like Father, Like Son, so I can vouch for that. He won't have a problem.
So Kai, what would you say on that point?
Well, I've only been with one girl, so I'm all good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I respect that, bro. Well done. I'll come back to the thing I was saying. So basically, when I have the conversation with this person, which is done in a very formal kind of event where like we're sitting down, neither of us are drunk or sober, like we're all sober. We're just sitting and very professionally, and I'm basically getting to know her before any feelings or before any actions are done. That's like, the girl's like, imagine like let's say it's a virgin, right? And you sleep with her, and after you sleep, the morning you wake up and you're like, wow. You're like, wow, you're not really my type. I didn't talk to you. And imagine how the bad it is for the girl. You know what I mean? So this protects her modesty. And for the guy, it's like, imagine like he might feel like I got led on, or it can work either both way. But anyway,
does she have similar information about you like you do about her, or is it more of a one way?
100%.
So it's both ways.
Yeah.
So you sit down with your information and you just.
So there's actually a book. It's called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. And if you go through those, it's very, very PBD, Patrick Ben David. Love this guy, but he don't want to talk about it as well. So if you go through this book, you can ask very circumstantial questions like, your husband goes, your brother goes to jail. You don't have money to pay for it, or do you expect me to pay for it? Some stuff like that, you know, very circumstantial stuff. So you really know before you dive in and start the action and start falling in love and start planning your honeymoon or whatever. You know what I mean? Before you waste all this fucking time, you know everything that you want to do. You know,
so you're kind of treating marriage more as a business.
Why is it business? You mean a logical?
Yeah,
it doesn't say business, but like something that's logical,
like you
calculated.
would do a business deal.
And when you want to do a business deal, when it's important, it's a business deal. You make it calculated. So is it not important? It's not more important than a business deal.
Well, it's probably one of the most important. Things
Exactly.
to do in
So
your
why
life,
would you
isn't
not make a calculated thing? Why would you not have? So as I was saying, why would I go for a girl? Why would I not go for a girl that I know for a fact that this family, which she comes from, has raised her with these values? Because I know that family. My mom knows this family. Where they may not be related to me. They might be, by the way. But they may not be necessarily related to me. They may be family friends. But I know that the values instilled in her from a young age was X, Y, Z. And I know that they've tried their best to keep her away from certain things that could worsen her character, certain drugs, certain bad traits. And ultimately, what's the most important of all of this? When you have an argument with a girl when you're in an arranged marriage, when you have an argument with her, and it's an arranged marriage, what she will do is she will go to her mom, because her mom was the one who set it up, or her dad. And she'll say, I had this argument. And this person who's an experienced marriage person, their parent, who's been in a relationship for years, can say like, okay, this happened, it happens. This is how you deal with it. XYZ, have this conversation, let him improve on this, you improve on this, you're good to go. But when the girl, you found her in a club, or you found her in Tinder or online, or let's say in school, whatever, when she has a fight with you, she goes to who? Her friends. And her friends wants their friend back. So they're like, you know what? Let's go party together. Fuck your boyfriend. Let's go party. Our friend is back. We're going to hit the town tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we just bring it back to, what do you mean that you might be related? Sorry, I just can't let that go.
I went through that part quite fast. Yeah. So yeah, like in our culture, it may be like a second cousin. I've seen first cousins, second cousins, third cousins. So yeah.
Is that something that you would do?
I mean, me knowing my cousins, I already know them, and it's not applicable, you know. There's not a cousin that I would do it with. But if I had a cousin that was a first cousin of mine, but she ticked all the boxes, honestly, I might have.
What's the typical age as well to get married at?
Very young, so it's also very good. It's like around 20, you know.
But you're not married yet.
Yeah, but I will be.
Is it arranged already?
Yeah. No, not arranged yet. But I have the system. So at 21, I start the search, which is my mom shows me the women and the stuff about the information about them. I have the questionnaire sent out to all of them. And I review the results. And hopefully by 21 and a half, I will be engaged. And then by 22, married.
So do you think that sometimes it gets
yeah.
them stuck in toxic relationships when it is an arranged marriage? Because everyone is kind of for the relationship if they set it up.
Yes. 100%. I agree. Ultimately, there are bad families that exist. And obviously, if they want to keep their child in a relationship, that's bad for them after they know all the information. And the child does not feel like they have a way out. It sucks, but I mean, that's just bad. That's not they're not using the system correctly. You know what I mean? Most of the time, they explain to this. They like basically. First of all, you already know a lot about the person before you fall in love, so it's quite hard for it to be toxic. Of course, things come up, so it happens. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, but sometimes having that kind of friction to divorce is actually what it needs to work out. It's too easy in the Western world for a woman to leave, take half your money, and see another guy. It's too easy. There's no friction involved at all.
They're
and she
actually
gets half your money.
incentivized.
Yeah. So it's like there's more people that would want that. So there's more positive pros than cons. So for them, having that friction that like, okay, now if we want to divorce, it's gonna be a big thing, and like in the society and people know about, and also like our parents would be disappointed. Let's give it a try. We have these issues. Let's try to work on them. You know, I think ultimately relationships, I don't believe in the soulmate, all bullshit. There's one girl for one guy, all bullshit. Have two people that are good people and let them compromise. But there's attraction between them and it's all compromise. You will do things that she doesn't like. She will do things that you don't like. You're never gonna find someone that's 100%. Just compromise. You say like,
you ever worried though that you won't fall in love? You know, you'll never have that feeling like you are absolutely in love with that person and you'd miss out on that because you haven't chosen them personally.
But you have chosen them.
Yeah, but you chose them from a short list that is created by your family.
But if you didn't like anyone in the portfolio, you could request a new portfolio. And if you didn't like anyone, then you can request a new one.
I suppose, but when you're approaching it in this logical manner, does it leave room for true love?
True. I know what you mean. What you're saying is actually valid. From what I've seen, I mean, I have not happened to me, but from what I've seen, they've all fallen in love, you know? I think if you talk about love, like how is love made and how does it work? I think it's ultimately when you like someone a lot and then mind you,
if you
kind of like a
if
best
you
friend
say
that you sleep with.
If you say that to a girl, I like you a lot, it doesn't mean the same thing.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. You're right. So I have a question for you guys, especially you, Mr.
Oh
Mark.
my God.
So from what I've understood, so now as you know, my search time is coming soon for getting in a relationship. So I've been thinking about this, and I've thought about it a lot, and I've made this kind of study in my head. When you're going to find a spouse or a partner, I've boiled it down to two options, and I call the first one the hustler, and the second one the cheerleader. And ultimately, if you think about it, the hustler, just to break it down, the hustler is the one that's like you, same like you, copy paste of you guys, okay? Has her own grind, working, has her own goals, has her own very ambitious, really like crushing in her field or really like working hard. But, and the good thing, the pros for her, if you have a problem at night, you tell her about it, she understands, business, she should do this, you can strategize together, or like she gives you motivation on, or like consulting you, or like she gives you a lot of business support, she tells you about her business thing, you advise her here. So it's nice. You both are hustlers, powering through life, On the opposite side, you have the cheerleader. The cheerleader is great because by the time you wake up at 9 a.m. for your meeting, she has made breakfast for you. She has, given you a massage in the morning or at night, the night before, maybe both. Whatever you want, she helped you with, and she's your number one fan, Anything you need, she's just sitting at home waiting for you the whole day. Whenever you need to, like, let's say you want a coffee, she comes bring you a coffee or whatever. Anything you need. You want to come home for a quick meal, the quick meal's arranged. Whereas the hustler, maybe you wake up at 9 a.m. for your meeting, she's already out of the house. She woke up at 8 a.m. for her meeting. So both have their pros and cons, right? But you can only pick one, because if one is the hustler, then she can't be the cheerleader as well, because she has her own things going on. But if you pick the cheerleader, imagine that you're coming here to Dubai, all of you guys. You're a cheerleader. She's at home, sitting, waiting. She doesn't have anything to do. She's not a hustler, so she's just your fan. So she's like, when are you coming back, Mark? When are you coming back, Kai? I miss you so much, Kai. Can we get on a call? No, I'm in a podcast. What? Just have some time for me. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's a choice of both. If it was, I'd take the cheerleader. I wouldn't expect the cheerleader.
That's the traditional option.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect the cheerleader because I think to expect all those things is too much. But for her to give those things, I think is fantastic. And it gives her power as well. Because if I arrive home and there's a cooked meal for me, I'm overjoyed. I think it's fantastic, And she doesn't have to do that.
No.
But she does. And I like that. So I would say it's the cheerleader. But it's also... I think for me, it's given her the space also to do whatever she wants to do. So you've also got your own lives as well. So ours is definitely, I'd say it's a cheerleader plus. There you go.
It's like, it's not an iPhone, bro. iPhone X Max.
It's the latest edition.
What would you call it then if they were a cheerleader, but they had their own things going on the side that don't necessarily make as much money? They're not a hustler, but they're not completely a cheerleader.
I think it's really hard to find. Like, I think there's that subset category. I think it's extremely rare. It just becomes one or the other. You know what I mean? If they have a business they're working on, let's say, like, give me an example.
Well, my wife is she does counselling, so she does it for people mostly with bereavement problems, and that's a job. She will also go on her own holidays, skiing with her girlfriends if she wants to. I have no problem with that.
And she volunteers a lot.
She volunteers
in the
as well, does lots of volunteer work. And they're all the things that she wants to do, and I think that's 100% fine. I have no problem at all, and I encourage
Can
that.
you speak business with her? Is it like you go home and you tell her I have this thing, and she's like,
no, she's up there
Can
on
you
the
strategize
business
with her?
scale. Yeah, she understands what I'm talking about, and probably is a good sounding board because I'm a bit more go for it, and she might go, well, have you thought about X, Y, Z?
You always say that, but I think mum's definitely more risky than you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If you give mum all the details, she'll understand the risks involved, and then she'll give you an educated opinion.
Wow.
on
Yeah, but
that.
she's not more risky. She's definitely not more risky. Certainly not than what I was, because obviously as you go through life and you get older, I'm 55. There's only so many more big plays or big risks you can take. You know, particularly if you're risking everything.
Yeah, but imagine you're with like a young, imagine you're like 20, okay, or you're 24,
Yeah.
and you're kind of struggling with motivation, and you get a cheerleader, and the cheerleader kind of makes you complacent, and she kind of tells you it's okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be with someone that made me complacent.
Right, but the cheerleader's job is to tell you that you are good, to cheer you on, and like kind of like.
But if she's cheering you on, it's not making you complacent, is it?
Right, but if
it's
she's
cheering
making
you on with your goals, your achievements, where you want to be. Yeah, so the two are
it's
mixed.
a slippery slope though, because imagine now you have this girl who's like telling you like, they say this is a fact, not a fact, but this is what they say: you give a man sex when he wants it, entertainment and good food, and he'll throw his ambition out the window. And if it's a good cheerleader, you're getting what you want in life. And a lot of your dreams and your ambition you see it all the time. I'm sure you see it. Guys get complacent. They're with a girl that really loves them, nurturing. And that's the point of a girl, to be nurturing and to be the cheerleader traditionally. But then maybe she made life so convenient for you that you were like, what is it if I don't have $1 billion? What if I don't have a yacht?
I guess the guy has to realize though that he needs to be worthy of her and bring that to the party as well.
I disagree with that as well, because my girlfriend is the cheerleader.
Finally, some disagreement. You disagree with me or them?
With the point that you just made about the cheerleader makes you complacent, because my girlfriend's a cheerleader, and when I come home, there's dinner ready and all of these things, and this is what I expect. But she's doing it with my money.
Yeah.
So if I'm not making the money, how can she do the things that I want her to do?
And my girlfriend's a cheerleader as well.
Yeah, I believe in the gender roles.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
But
that's how my life
if you
is set up.
have two hustlers together, then you've got to be really careful about how you do that, and you're not like mixing businesses and stuff, because it'd be very stressful in that relationship.
And if her business becomes bigger than yours and she earns more money than you earn, she'll start looking down on you.
I think for the record, I've always said that I think it would be cool to have a girl that makes more money than me. I think there would be an element of excitement in it. When I come home and I say, "How was your day?" I know what the answer's going to be, bro. You know what I mean? I know what the answer's going to be because I know what she's been doing. But if she was making more money than me and was super ambitious, it's like, what have you done today? I don't know.
But
that would be cool. That would be cool.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm more into the cheerleader.
Imagine she's like, I had this meeting and I went in there and I said I delivered these points and then I persuaded them with this. But I think that there is a lot of pros if you are gonna be so busy in your life, you're gonna be in Dubai and this woman's gonna be waiting for you the whole day at home.
We'll bring her over.
The thing is, I would bring my
Where is she
girlfriend.
now?
See, she can't at the moment because she's working on her degree. But as soon as she finishes that,
So she's kind of like the hustler, by the way.
No.
but as soon as she finishes it and she's got that in her back pocket, if she ever needs it, then she's ready to give that up.
And if I'm out here for a couple of months, 3 months,
Where's
she'll
your
come with
spouse?
me. She's at home at the moment.
Why?
Well, because she's just been on holiday skiing with her friends. She just got back. We had this booked pretty last minute, and then we go skiing 2 days after we get back. So
enough.
she doesn't have time to prepare everything.
When
get
she went
out here.
skiing, it didn't make you feel like, I don't know, like, I guess because when you go skiing, that was kind of like what I was thinking about, like the hustler would be. Because the cheerleader wouldn't necessarily, that's why I understand like why yours is in the middle. Because the cheerleader would not be like taking trips alone without you, So the hustler would be like going for the meeting in another country or like going for the business transaction in another country. But in that time when she went, let's say you were at home, the house was in disorder. Do you guys have a maid?
No, I'm a
We have
very
a cleaner.
tidy person.
I've got a mate.
We have a cleaner.
We do have a cleaner, but I'm quite a tidy person, I think.
Okay, who cooked the meals? You?
I can cook. I cook here.
No, Mum cooks the meals.
Well, no, sorry.
Let's
Yeah,
be
but
honest.
you
cook.
said when she's away. I'll cook meals while
But
she's
imagine
away.
now you have like a long day. You're just tired. You go home.
Do you
and
know
have to cook.
what? Cooking is actually a very good way to relax. Believe me.
The
Unless
biggest
you've
waste of
tried
time
it-
for a man.
Yeah, but unless you've tried it, you don't know. It is actually pretty relaxing. If you want to do it, it's a nice thing to
But
do.
you don't want to. You have to.
No, you don't. You can call out, get
Yeah,
a meal
you can
in,
call
go
out,
go
yeah.
for a restaurant.
They don't
or
call
whatever.
these days. We've got Uber.
Yeah, whatever. But Tom's the same. Our video man, aren't you? You'll cook.
Producer.
Yeah.
He's calling for backup.
He'll cook as well. You obviously don't like the idea of cooking. Can you cook?
I don't not like the idea, but no, I can't cook.
Yeah.
No, but I don't not like the idea. I wouldn't wanna though. Yeah, I think it's not a use of my time. It's like making like it's like I don't know. It's like making a like a football player like do something else. You know what I mean? Other than football. It's kind of
Yeah,
like,
you
why would
want to
I
be
learn
doing your
football?
highest value
yeah,
activity,
yeah.
and
But
cooking
then when
isn't one of them.
Then when he stops playing football at 32, 34, he's useless, isn't he?
Yeah,
No,
but he's
but-
hopefully made enough money that he doesn't need to
Yeah.
do any of those things.
But he
ever
can't do
again.
anything. He's got no interest, no hobbies, can't do a thing.
No,
can't
but for
boil
me,
an egg.
this argument is bad because I'm not a footballer, I'm a businessman, so I can continue doing business even if I'm sitting in a wheelchair. I can control my business. If I can just move my mouth, if I can just ride, if you put a thing on my brain that lets me speak, then I can run my business. So for me, I can always run it. I'll never have that problem. like the footballer has where he has to retire. But even when they do retire, actually, they don't retire at 30. Now they go and play in another club.
Well, they do now.
Yeah,
Probably
so-
till about 40 or so.
And then they go,
Maybe
and I'm a
50.
celebrity, get me out
And
of
then
here,
they
make
play
some more
golf,
money.
or they become a coach, like Zidane became a coach. So I think, what you're saying is like,
Rubbish. You can say that.
no,
Calling
But
cap.
I don't mind a little bit.
For the record, I'm a big fan of Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. Let me say that we've had a go at each other, but
No, this
big
is
fan of you.
a good debate. Of course, it's all love.
I mean, when I was at school, that I think it was quite early when they started bringing in learning some feminine roles, and I certainly learned how to cook at school.
Yeah.
So you had to do the same as what the girls did within our school.
Yeah.
And
I think
I've
it's amazing
always
that you
quite
can do that.
enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's amazing.
I think it's time for your famous question.
when is enough? Enough.
Oh, it's a good question. I think if you have that goal in mind where that's going to be enough, then after that, you may as well just die. So I think you need to keep that always very much in the future. Never have that enough moment, because the journey is ultimately where all the fun is, the ups and downs. So definitely for me, there's no such thing as enough. Just as much as you can improve in all aspects, whether it's financial, because once you have enough, you just die. Enough is enough. Oh, I'm just dead now,
I've had enough.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's, there's a video of Kobe Bryant. I love it. I have it saved on my phone. It's like, those times when you wake up early and you work hard, those times when you sleep late and you work hard, that is the dream. And that's Kobe Bryant, And he's saying it as someone who's reached that destination. And he's saying that time when I was doing that was the dream. That was the part that I enjoyed. Because that's like you're in the game, Like, you don't know if you're gonna make it, if it's gonna work out. You didn't know that this podcast wasn't gonna work out, and things were so exciting. And you're on that journey, There's the ups and the downs, and like 1 minute everything's okay, and then it gets messed up. And they talk about this in a book a lot, which I love, which is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is like, he says that life is solving problems. Happiness comes from solving problems. If you want to be happy, you don't want no problems. You want problems that you can solve. That's happiness. So if you have that enough and there's no more problems left, and there's no more opportunities to be happy, there's no more opportunities to make yourself proud, if there's no adversity, there's no times where you can show your skills, there's nothing to work for. So having that goal set, if you go home today, write down the most ambitious goal that you can think of. Let it scare you of how ambitious it is. Write it down and have that in the back of your mind that is your goal, and work towards that. Because as soon as you do that first thing, like today, go home and write that. And Logan Paul talks about this a lot, not to use him as like an inspiration, but it worked for him. He wrote down what it is that he wanted to be, the ideal Logan Paul he can be, or I write down the ideal best person you can be. Keep it in the back of your mind and set on that journey. Because that first thing you do that's when you set on the journey. And then you begin the journey, the ups and downs, the game. And that's like,
That's great.
100%. What a great note to end it on. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and we will see you next Wednesday with a brand new podcast. So it's goodbye from me.
Thank you guys so much.
And
for
it's
having me.
goodbye from these guys. Laters. That was
Thank you guys so much.
fantastic.
Thank
Quite
you guys.
deep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There was a few things that I was thinking we could talk about.